Next up is Tech Impact. The executive director of Tech Impact, Patrick Callihan, has been a friend for a number of years in the work that the Office of Workforce Development did with Future of Work. And when I, decided last summer to launch the Future Works Alliance PHL, I said to Patrick, this is what I'm thinking I want to do. And he was like, I'm not sure I totally get everything about it, but I'm going to be your fiscal sponsor. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. A true believer and also advisory board member. So it's a great pleasure to welcome a longstanding program that's been in our region, in our commuter zone, for among other cities for I think over a decade, but I don't want to take your program. So Executive Director of Tech Impact, Patrick Callihan, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, and good morning. And I would have let you kept going. I didn't have a problem with that. I thought you were doing a great job. I'll tell you, I would say it's great to see all of you out there this morning, but I can't see any of you, so it wouldn't work. But I did see the list of folks that were on this morning, and a lot of names I know. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening to this. I gotta say, I'm really humbled to share this virtual stage this morning with Sandy Behrens, who's a board member of ours. And you heard her talk so inspirationally, and that's exactly why she's on our board, right? She inspires the youth that we work with constantly, and just keeps us our North Star toward adding more diversity in tech and really, reaching out and helping the young people that we're serving. Jesse and Stephanie, just fantastic to see these programs come to Philadelphia. Really important work that you folks are doing, and I'm just glad to be part of your ecosystem as well. And I will say, the work Ann's doing, I now that we've been at it for some time, it's incredibly important. I read some reports recently from McKinsey about the future of work, and just how fast things are changing, and the pace that the workforce is changing, meaning what types of jobs are going to be available. And we need to think through those things, as a region, as a society, about how we retrain and prepare people for the jobs that are going to be there, because so many of them are going away, particularly post-pandemic. So that's only accelerated things. So this is all incredible work. I was going to kind of run you through some slides, but I think I will not do that. And I'll just talk briefly about Tech Impact, talk a little briefly about the programs that we run, and keep us back on track. So I know all of you have committed your time this morning, and we want to respect that. So very briefly, Tech Impact is a nonprofit organization, and we're on a mission to use technology to better serve our world. So what does that mean? Well, for us, it means two things, right? One is we provide capacity building services. So we literally help hundreds, really thousands of nonprofit organizations with technology, both helping them to make the right decisions about the investments that they're making, as well as to help them implement and often support that technology. But in context for today, we also do a lot of work in workforce development. So in particular, we run a program that, as Ann said, has been running for over a decade, called IT Works. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. In addition to that, we've launched apprenticeships in the region. We are an apprentice franchise, so we have a number of young people into apprentices right now in all different kinds of fields, everything from data analytics and cybersecurity to IT support professionals, and of course, software development. We also act as an intermediary in some places where we work, meaning that we work hard to recruit young people, assess them, put them into programs, just like you heard about today, as well as our own programs, and then provide some wraparound services to those young people, and then help with the placement services on the back end. It's safe to say we are hyper-focused on adding a diverse tech talent pipeline in the communities where we work. Today, those communities are Philadelphia, Wilmington, and Southern Nevada. So a little bit about our IT Works program. It differs a little bit from my colleagues in that it's not focused on application development or software development. And you know, and we have those programs as well, but this one's a little bit different. It's focused, I like to think of IT in two different areas: application development or application software, and then also infrastructure. And this one is very infrastructure related. And it's essentially a 16-week program. And the students that go through the program receive 250 hours of training in IT infrastructure that is leading to a certification, actually two different certifications. One is a CompTIA certification, A+, and then the other one is a Cisco certification, IT Essentials. At the end of 11 weeks of classroom, then they go into a 5-week internship, which will then give them hands-on experience with local companies. In addition to that, they receive over 100 hours of professional development training during our Friday sessions. And all of that is through volunteers. So every young person is assigned a mentor from a local business, as well as receiving, you know, basically training in professional sessions, things like time management, helping to develop resumes, cover letters, leadership skills, financial management, all of those kind of areas that are sort of round out the tech education as well. And then for the education itself, the Cisco CompTIA education, they're really learning about PC hardware, troubleshooting, networking, cloud, printer devices, things like that. So really preparing them for an entry-level position into usually an IT support or networking type of job. And these are jobs that are expected to grow between 10% or to grow 10% or more until year 2028. So basically a lot faster than other jobs. And the median salary for these jobs were $54,000. So it's not quite your software development job, but it is an excellent job and a very sustainable wage, and also a great career path that goes into networking and cloud support and other areas like cybersecurity and network administrators. So there's a lot of opportunity for folks in this career field as well. So for us at Tech Impact, we're nearing 1,000 graduates of this program. 100% of our graduates have received Cisco IT certifications, and 80% of our graduates are working full-time within 6 months in the field, starting typically $35,000 to $40,000 a year. So again, very, very good jobs. So with that, I'll just say, you know, again, thank you for taking the time to learn about these programs. You know, the one thing I would encourage everyone to think about is how can you help support that, whether it's mentor a young person, provide an internship, think about apprenticeship, which is, you know, a fairly new concept for these types of careers, but critically important. And to support these programs that are really changing the lives. And I've seen that firsthand, you know, in our more than decade of work here. I mean, so many of our young people have just gone on to incredible careers in technology. And I'll have to say it's it's an area, maybe not the one area, but it's certainly an area where once you get your foot in the door and you're working with a corporation, the pedigree issue seems to go away. You know, no one really cares if you went to school or where you went to school. What they really care about is what value are they adding to your business. And these folks are incredibly motivated, incredibly talented, and will add value to your business if given the opportunity. So with that, I'll stop there. I know we're at time, and I'll just see if there happens to be any questions that I can answer.
Patrick, thank you so much. I really appreciate your words and, you know, all of the options that people can explore at Tech Impact. I have one question. Could you talk a little bit about the locations and the virtual, like, what are your plans? None of the presentations really talked about that. And I think it's important for the audience to understand the pivot to virtual, and then also like the plans for person-to-person post-pandemic, in-person classroom post-pandemic, and the locations.
Yeah, great question. So obviously, you know, we like to teach our classes in person. We think that's really critical component to working with young people. So unfortunately, we have not been able to do that in the last year. Everything's been remote. And in fact, now we're sort of building out a learning management system that will catalog all of our programs so that we can continue to do it remotely. Having said that, I'm really passionate about bringing the classes back in person. And we plan to, at this point in time, do that this fall with our classes starting in August. I mean, it's just critical to, again, these programs, we're talking about providing economic mobility. We're talking about providing wealth building, which help, put more diversity in technology, which is terribly underrepresented. I mean, they're just really great programs. And again, I just want to say thank you for highlighting these, Ann, and thank you for bringing this to the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thanks for that shout out. I appreciate this time that you gave us today.